this video, we are going to go over time sessions. So it's really important to figure out when the market is the most volatile and what time session you are trading on. So a good indicator that I use for the time sessions is this one. So you just go into indicators, you search sessions, and it's the one that says AU Rocks, and you just click on it. So it will show you the different time sessions that's happening if you're confused at the bottom. So what you want to do is just click the time zone that you're in so you can figure out, okay, what time is the market exactly moving and what session is it moving in. So if you go to sessions and then go to settings, you can edit the colors and everything like that. So London is the green, the middle is when London session is active but New York starts, and then the purple is New York. The white is Asian session. Okay, so we have two big sessions. We have London, New York. Asian is the third largest session, but it's usually kind of slow, and that's where we see ranging markets depending on what's happening. So basically what I want you to do is just copy what I have here. So I just have these three clicked, and then pick whatever color you want. For Asian session, I just pick white so you can see that large gap, and then I pick green and purple, but pick whatever you want. I'll give you a second to do this. Okay, so once you have that done, make sure you have these. So take off Sydney because Sydney is irrelevant. So click London, New York, and Tokyo. And if you're confused on the colors, you just unclick one and you can see which one it is. So London is green. Okay. So coming in to this, we have, like I said, this is London. Oops. And then we have NY, New York session starts, and then London session is still open. Okay, so for the gray, and then for the purple, we have New York session, which is USA, and that starts opening. So London starts opening, Europe is waking up and starts the day. NY session starts and London session is still open, and then New York session starts opening the market for that day. Okay, so that's how it works. So now we want to figure out when the market starts moving at what time. So London starts basically at 2 a.m. Central Time. So I'm in Central Time. You have to figure out your zone or your time zone. If you are in New York, that would be 3 a.m. But in London time, that is 8 a.m. So if you're a trader that's from the UK or that has a similar time zone to the UK, this will be in the morning for you. So that's awesome to trade. I'm actually really jealous of you guys that are in the UK or somewhere else in the world where you have the same time session as the UK, because there's no excuses. Like London starts in the morning and then New York starts for you in the afternoon. So you're pretty lucky. So anyways, figuring it out, what we want to do, and you don't have to keep this indicator on all the time. You can just hide it with this little guy. But just make sure that you're understanding, okay, how is the market moving? What time am I getting in this trade? So right now we're looking at the 1 hour, and we're looking at GBP USD. So what we can see here by just looking at the market is we have a double bottom pattern forming, and it is forming around New York session. So usually New York session starts movement like 1 to 2 hours after the open. It just depends. So just by looking at this, we can see that we had an impulse correction, and now we have a level of support and liquidity. So what we do is we go to the line chart, identify that low, round it, and then we can see that a double bottom is forming. So looking on higher time frames, we can also see, let's just get rid of these sessions for a second. We can also see it is at this current level where it is respecting. So if you want to just go like this, okay, we can see that it isn't breaking below the structure. So it is coming up from that area and going to either make a correction or going to continue up. So like I said in the videos in the course, price will go past this level because the market makers are absorbing the orders, okay? So they're trying to trick you that price is gonna continue. So they'll get sellers in the market, but unfortunately it goes and closes above this price and then continues the opposite way. So that's what their goal is. So that's why you'll see it wick past price. But when you see exhaustion, especially on the lower time frames, you can see that, okay, price is going to move up. So it's trying to fake out here. But it, like I said previously, it's exhausted around this area. It's making a double bottom on the 1 hour. So what we want to do is we want to take an entry at that 122,650. So what we do is take the long position tool, enter at 122,650, and put a stop loss of 20 pips. Okay. So we have a minor level of resistance here. And then we have a level of resistance here as well. Let me just go on the 4 hour time frame. Yeah, okay. So what we want to look out for is to see how far can it go up, okay? So here, and then again we have an area right here, and then obviously a major area here. Okay, so since this is minor structure, it's likely that it will make a W pattern and go like this. So this is the W forming, so it's likely to go like this. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's just see. So minor structure is here, and then major structure here. Let's just see what happens. So our stop loss is here. So no matter what, if this goes below here, then we get stopped out. But again, we're following the trend. It's respecting structure. What's ending up happening is we're in the London session right now, so we should see this reverse, and then it is about to be New York session hitting in. Okay, so it starts to get bullish momentum. We look at the time frame, New York is starting, and it makes a huge movement up. So it's creating that W from that double bottom. And then, so our first target would be in this area, okay? So we're always rounding price. So profit level 23,800. So just from the morning, we made 115 pips, almost a 1-to-6 ratio, risking 20 pips, okay? So then let's just see what happens. So a couple things, like I said, you guys, it depends on your trading plan. If 115 pips is a lot for you, then take it. If you're an intraday trader, take it. But if you're more of a swing trader, you just want to watch the market play out, and you can put your stop loss closer to where price is. That way, you can break even. You have two options. You break even or you take some profit. That's up to you. Okay, so it rejects from this level, starts breaking above. Okay, so breaks below, just as a correction, and then kind of messes around. So let's check out what session this is. Okay, so it's so London. Where are we here? Okay, so we had London, then New York kick in, and then we had a correction during Asian, and then London kicked in, so we're going up. Then New York starts again. Okay, so we're ranging, made a mini correction, and it looks like we're gonna hit that level of resistance. Let's just speed it up here. Okay, so what ends up happening is it touches that price. So we're gonna go to horizontal ray and round it. Okay, so it touches 125.3 literally to the T. So this is what you have to watch out for. Sometimes price, this is a perfect example. Sometimes price doesn't come up into this zone. Sometimes it's like, for example, this is at 125.427 and it hit 125.3. So sometimes it won't hit that exact price. So you just have to think in this area, where is price going to hit? So if we look on the lower time frames, we can see that it came up, rejected, and then wicked, and then closed, came up, wicked, and then started dropping. So we have to be prepared. So for this buy, what we can do is since our first target broke, we can extend it, okay? So what are we doing? We're extending it to the next level of rejection, which is 125.300. Okay, so that's 265 pips risking 20 pips. So that's a 1-to-13 ratio. Okay, so again, that's from June 30th to July 2nd. So that's 3 days. 3 days, 265 pips on GU. It's pretty good, right? So then again, the market rejects from that 125.3. So if you like counter trending, you can take that sell, because that sell from that 125.3, that sell is almost 100 pips. So that's still good. And the reason why it respected here is because we have a zone right here of structure. So what ended up happening is it broke structure, didn't retest this, came all the way to the high. So sometimes this happens on GBP pairs where I say, okay, it's gonna break, watch for a test, but sometimes it doesn't test right away. Sometimes it'll go straight up to the high, then come down, test structure, and then continue up. Okay, so in this situation, it did that. So let's say you missed the whole buy and you're looking to get in structure. I mean, by all means, you can take a buy here. It exhausted at this price. It's not going lower. So you take a long. Entry price 124.5. Stop loss 200 pips. Or sorry, 20 pips. And again, our target would be the 125.3. So what's ending up happening now is price is testing structure. And again, we have to look at our 4-hour time frame to say, okay, what is happening? So we do have a level of rejection here. However, it's minor and we could hit this high. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so ends up breaking above structure, reversal, and continuation up. So again, just from this entry, we can move our target to this resistance. Okay, because we have resistance right here. Like I said, it would test this. So it did that exactly. Then what's happening now? So just from this entry, 213 pips, risking 20 pips. So this is all within a week. So see how I mean by mastering a pair? Because you can follow its every move. Even if you don't want to counter trend trade and you don't want to take that sell and then that buy, that's fine. Just follow what the trend is telling you. Like you could take a buy here, a buy here, a buy here, a buy here, and you'd be done for the month, really, realistically, depending on how many pips you want to catch. But like I said, that's over 500 pips now in just that week. So that now that we see that structure is hitting, it kind of looks like we're making an M pattern. So it hit once, rejected, came up to the high again, and what's going to happen now, I feel like, is it's going to go down and test that level that it broke. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so comes down and tests this level. Okay, so comes down, tests this level again. After an M pattern, the market reverses. So the sells on M patterns are easy. You could take a sell here, back to structure. Structure faked out, came back up for a test, and exhausted again. Then came back down, tested, or came up and wicked. Then this was, let's see what session this was. Okay, so these are in between the Tokyo session, the Asian session. So what ended up happening is it came up, and let's see what session this was. So this is London and then coming to Asian. This was London coming to New York, and then this was in the middle of Asian. So usually Asian is ranging, and then New York comes in again. Okay, so you really want to back test this because you want to figure out what session works best for you and when you want to wake up, stuff like that. So a test structure, again, it's not breaking below this 125.3, keeps closing above, so it ends up going back and then eventually breaking. So you're just following it every single time. So again, the sessions is something you really want to back test because you want to see how the market is moving at those certain times and what days it's moving. So that's something I want you to really study and figure out what works best for you. But yeah, so make sure you go and back test a couple pairs and just look, okay, this movement happened at this session on this day. This movement happened on this day at this session, stuff like that. If you guys have any questions at all about this video, let me know.